What if I told you scientists have already unlocked a secret to extending life by up to 50%? Imagine living not just longer, but healthier, more vibrant years. For decades, this was confined to animal studies, but now the first human clinical trial has confirmed you can dramatically slow your own biological clock. Dr. Thomas here for part 3. If you're just joining us, go watch the first 2 videos after this one and subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next in our de-aging series. Today, we're diving into the science of scarcity, this incredible idea that the secret to a longer life might actually be eating less. I mean, think about it. It's fantastic news that we're living longer than ever before, but that brings up a really critical question, doesn't it? It's not just about adding more years to our life, it's about adding more life to our years. So how can we protect our most important organ, the brain, and make sure it ages gracefully right along with us? This is truly one of the biggest challenges of our time. Yeah, but here's the paradox of our own success. As our lifespans have stretched, we've run into a new, pretty huge challenge, this rising tide of neurodegenerative diseases. You see, we've gotten so much better at treating things like heart disease and cancer, which means brain disorders have kind of moved to the front of the line. Conditions like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's are now leading causes of both disability and, sadly, death. And that makes this quest for successful brain aging more urgent than it's ever been. So, what can we possibly do about it? Well, interestingly enough, science is now taking a really close look at 2 dietary strategies that, honestly, have roots in ancient human practices. Things people did for spiritual reasons, or frankly, just because food was scarce. They're 2 very different approaches, but they both share one incredible goal. Okay, so the first one is caloric restriction, or CR. This is kind of the big one, the one that really started this whole field of research. And the key here is that it's a sustained, long-term reduction in the amount of calories you take in. But, and this part is absolutely critical, it's done without causing malnutrition. You're eating less, but you're still getting all the essential vitamins and nutrients your body needs to thrive. And then we have the second approach, intermittent fasting, or IF. You've probably heard of this one. It's gotten super popular lately. Now, unlike CR, this isn't so much about what or how much you're eating, but when you're eating. It's all about creating these cycles, right? Alternating between periods where you eat normally and periods where you voluntarily fast. And this slide really breaks down the core difference perfectly. Caloric restriction is all about how much. Think of it like turning down the volume knob on your daily food intake and just leaving it there. Intermittent fasting, on the other hand, is all about when. It's more like flipping a light switch on and off. You have periods of eating and then periods of not eating. 2 totally different paths that lead to a very similar biological destination. Now, it's really important to get this. This is not some new wellness fad. The science here goes way, way back. I mean, the first major study was published back in 1935. It showed that rats on a calorie-restricted diet lived way longer. By the 90s, we were testing this in monkeys with similar results. And then, more recently, the CALERIE trial gave us the first big long-term data set for this stuff in humans. So this idea has been building for almost a century. Okay, but why does this actually work? What is happening inside our cells that makes this so powerful? Well, now we get to the really fascinating part. Let's take a look under the hood at our body's ancient survival circuits. So here is the absolute key idea. Your body basically has 2 main modes. When food is everywhere, it's in a growth state. It's building things. Cells are dividing, it's storing energy. But when food is scarce, bam, it flips this master metabolic switch. It shifts its priorities away from growth and puts all its energy into a state of protect and repair. It's a survival mechanism that's hardwired deep within us. So how does that switch actually get flipped? Well, it's this really beautiful biological chain reaction. When your cells sense that energy is low, they activate this master sensor called AMPK. Think of AMPK as the traffic cop. It immediately slams on the brakes for the growth pathway, which is called mTOR, while at the same time giving a big green light to this special team of longevity proteins called Sirtuins. And that's what kicks off this massive cellular cleanup and repair job. And the results of flicking on that protect and repair switch are just profound. Your cells literally become more resilient to stress. Your body starts burning through its stored fat for fuel super efficiently. Inflammation, which is a key driver of aging, gets dialed way down. A process called autophagy, which is like your cell's internal cleaning crew, ramps up big time, clearing out all the old damaged junk. And in your brain, it actually stimulates the production of protective factors. It's like a full system upgrade. Okay, that all sounds absolutely amazing on a cellular level, right? But the big question is, does it actually translate from the lab into real life? So let's dig into the evidence, both the really promising results and the very, very important caveats we need to talk about. In animal models, the evidence is, well, it's overwhelming. Seriously. From simple little organisms like yeast and worms, all the way up to mice, rats, and even our close cousins, the rhesus monkeys, the results are incredibly consistent. Dietary restriction extends lifespan and improves health span. That's the amount of time you live free from disease, and it boosts survival. It is, without a doubt, the most proven way to extend life in mammals besides messing with genes. But okay, that's animals. What about us? What about humans? Well, this is where that calorie trial dropped an absolute bombshell. After 2 years, they found that the group practicing calorie restriction didn't just lose weight, they literally slowed down their fundamental pace of aging. Their biological clock was ticking slower by a huge margin, a truly stunning discovery. And it's not just about slowing aging in some abstract way. The benefits we've actually seen in human studies are exactly what you'd hope for from such a powerful metabolic shift. We see weight loss, of course, but also better body composition, a big drop in key markers of inflammation, improved risk factors like cholesterol, and much better insulin sensitivity, which is so crucial for preventing metabolic diseases. But, and I can't stress this enough, we have to be balanced here. This is not all upside. There are potential risks that the science clearly points to. People can feel cold more often. There can be a risk of bone thinning, particularly in women, and even menstrual irregularities. We also honestly don't know the effects on people who are already lean and healthy. And maybe the biggest hurdle of all, sticking to this long term is incredibly difficult for most people. This is exactly why you should never attempt something like this without first talking to your doctor or registered dietitian. Our goal here is just to share the science with you. So after weighing all of that evidence, what's the real key takeaway here? Well, it's a pretty profound shift in how we might think about the process of aging itself. This quote from a major paper in the field just says it all. By changing our calorie intake, we trigger this powerful pathway that doesn't just burn fat, it seems to reset our hormones in a way that literally changes the pace of aging. We're not just treating the symptoms of getting old, we're intervening in the fundamental process itself. And all of this leaves us with one last kind of mind-bending question to think about. For so long, nutrition has been all about what we should add to our diets. But this research suggests the future might actually lie on what we strategically take away. So, is it possible the future of our health is not just about what we eat, but also about the powerful, deliberate periods when we don't? Thanks for joining me. Be sure to check back next Thursday when we continue our series on how to achieve longevity through food.